What's up guys, Mickle here, and in this video, I want to talk about the chance that Ripple would actually appeal Judge Torres' decision in the Ripple SEC case. Now, we all know that Ripple got a massive win in their case against the SEC, but Ripple still did lose on some key issues. We have a ton of high-profile securities lawyers coming out right now saying that Ripple is going to be forced to appeal Judge Torres' decision. In this video, I want to talk about whether or not I think that's going to happen. I want to talk all about the appeal process in general, let you guys know whether or not I think the SEC is going to appeal. In this video, I want to break down all of this, so make sure you stick around for this whole thing. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP or the Flare token, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So I want to start this video out and actually share a pretty random clip with you that I came across on Twitter earlier today. Now, the main reason I want to share this is because I've really never seen this clip before. There are a lot of clips that go around the XRP community that I feel like almost everyone has seen, but this is one I'd never seen before, so I just wanted to share it with you guys quick. I think it's pretty interesting, and I have a pretty important point to make in regards to this, so listen up closely.
Funny story on this front. So, unbeknownst to me, I go to the Warriors games sometimes here in San Francisco, and unbeknownst to me, Joel Katz, aka David Schwartz, funny to call him Joel Katz. Anyway, David Schwartz is a Warriors fan, and so I bumped into him actually twice, just totally randomly walking around. And what always strikes me is, here's David Schwartz walking around the Warriors game, and he walks by people, and they have no idea. Like, here is one of the most important people in cryptography, one of the most important people in blockchain, one of the most important people in the crypto markets.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the Steph Curry of digital. He's the Steph Curry of that whole. Anyway, people walk by, they have no idea, and he's such a humble guy, but obviously, brilliant, and frankly, Ripple's incredibly lucky to have him.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty interesting clip, one, because I'd never seen it before, but two, I think Brad Garlinghouse makes an excellent point here. Ripple is so lucky to have David Schwartz on their team, and it's one of the main reasons I am so bullish on the XRP ledger. Out of every single crypto project I have seen out there, no one has blown me away the way David Schwartz does. The way David Schwartz talks about this technology, the way he talks about how transformational it is, you just understand that this guy has such a better knowledge of what is happening in this industry than anyone else out there. At the end of the day, what these technologies really are just the representations of engineers' efforts. At the end of the day, all of these different technologies are built by engineers on the back end, so it's so important that you have brilliant engineers driving each one of these products. Out of every single person in crypto I have ever heard talk, not a single person comes even remotely close to David Schwartz, and I think we are so lucky that he has been such an influential and critical part of both Ripple and the XRP ledger. It's one of the reasons why going forward, I always have full confidence that Ripple is going to continue to make the right decisions to put XRP in the right place to succeed in the future, but also why I'm so confident XRP will never run into an issue like Ethereum's having right now, where suddenly the blockchain is almost unusable. After listening to David Schwartz talk on a high level about a lot of these issues, it just becomes so obvious to anyone who listens to him that he would never let something like that happen. He's always 10 steps ahead of everyone else in the industry. He always has a game plan for what comes next rather than what's just happening right now, and he's really been one of the most innovative people out there that hasn't really gotten the credit. I mean, freaking Satoshi Nakamoto gets talked about constantly, and no one even knows who it is. Meanwhile, we have David Schwartz running one of the most important cryptocurrency protocols out there, was influential in Bitcoin, and barely ever even comes up on a top 100 most important people in crypto list. It's an absolute joke, but honestly, I kind of prefer him going under the radar for now. I kind of prefer him not having all the attention on him, because one, it kind of prevents him from being picked up by another player in the industry, but two, it kind of always makes it so he's still grinding and still trying to achieve that status. Now, that's kind of a weird thing to say about David Schwartz, who I think should already have the status. I think he already fully deserves that status, but selfishly, it's kind of nice that he's been so under the radar, because I always feel like people perform better when they don't have the spotlight on them, and instead they're just allowed to build in the background. Either way, though, I really just wanted to point this out and say how lucky we are to have David Schwartz behind Ripple in the XRP ledger. He has done a fantastic job, and I know he's going to continue to do so in the future. So now I want to move on and actually talk about a pretty interesting topic, and that is whether or not Ripple will appeal Judge Torres' decision in the Ripple SEC case. There has been a ton of people talking about this on Twitter, so I wanted to quickly address my thoughts on it. And let me just tell you right now, I think that anyone who says Ripple will appeal the decision in the Ripple SEC case is out of their mind. Ripple got more than enough clarity with Judge Torres' decision for their business to prosper in the United States. This is all Ripple cared about. Ripple said since day one of this case, the only thing they cared about was the SEC being forced to admit XRP is not the security. Ripple said they would have settled almost everything else they were going back and forth with the SEC. This means Ripple probably never had any kind of problem registering some of their sales of XRP to institutions. Ultimately, that's what Judge Torres ruled, but Ripple already probably understood that was something they were going to have to do in the future. The biggest thing for Ripple was getting the SEC off their back. I've heard Elon Musk say in interviews that when Tesla was getting investigated by the SEC, almost every single bank he was working with said that they would refuse to bank Tesla going forward in the future so long as he kept fighting against the SEC. This is an immense amount of pressure to be put on any company out there, and something that Ripple was dealing with for almost 2.5 years. There is no way Ripple is going to resubject themselves to this pressure, especially when they already have the clarity they need for XRP to be used in the United States. It simply does not make any sense, and even if there were issues around the institutional sales of XRP, we need to understand, most importantly, that Ripple really does have ways around this. One, they weren't told they weren't allowed to sell XRP to institutions. They were just told they had to register that XRP. So that's not really a big deal at all. But two, Ripple also has a product that totally gets around this ruling, Liquidity Hub. Institutions can just buy XRP from Ripple's Liquidity Hub rather than buying directly from Ripple, and boom, the institutions get the XRP they need, and it's not being sourced from Ripple, it's being sourced from different exchanges all over the world. Ripple is just bringing those exchanges together to get these institutions the best price, but the XRP isn't coming from Ripple, so it can't be a security of Ripple. What I'm really trying to show you is there is absolutely no reason for Ripple to resubject themselves to the pressure of the SEC, because ultimately it's just going to hurt their business in the long run far more than anything that came out of this case. I don't think there's any way Ripple would ever appeal this decision. I think they are ecstatic with what the judge said, and I need to remind people that so many of the people who have been coming out and making these predictions have had this wrong the entire time. I just saw this show up on my Twitter feed. I thought it was pretty hilarious. If you know scam detectives on Twitter, you would know this guy is always trying to spread FUD about Ripple and XRP, and I actually had the chance to talk to him just a few days ago, and he was telling me, oh, I never said XRP would be the security. I was just talking about institutional transactions. Someone brought this tweet up to me. He says, this right here is literally why XRP is a security. So what am I trying to say here? What am I trying to prove? A lot of these people who were so confident back in the day that they knew what was going to happen, they knew XRP was going to be a security, they knew the SEC was going to win, and all those people were flat on their face wrong. I think we're going to see the same thing about this appeal process. So many experts are coming out and saying, oh, I know for a fact the SEC is going to appeal. I know for a fact Ripple is going to appeal. Guys, most of the people saying this have been wrong since day one. They thought the SEC was going to win. They thought XRP was going to be a security, and now they're desperately saying there's going to be an appeal to try to prove their original case right. At the end of the day, I'm listening to the people who have been right since day one rather than wrong since day one. One of those people is John Deaton. One of those people is Jeremy Hogan, and neither of those two lawyers think there will be an appeal in this case. Now, they said it's certainly possible. It would be dumb to say it wasn't possible, but it's so important to understand that the logic for either party appealing this case does not make a lot of sense. The SEC's main thing that they wanted was XRP being called a security. That is unappealable going forward. So the SEC is really just fighting over minuscule transactions in the future. That might not be something they want to rehash in the court. They have already looked bad enough in this case. It would look even worse if they were to lose on appeal, and it might just get even worse for them, and it really could limit their jurisdiction over the rest of the industry. So based on what the lawyers who got it right the first time are saying, I don't think the SEC is going to appeal, and I don't think there is any way, there's any chance possible Ripple would appeal this decision. So let's see if the experts who have been wrong since day one keep hammering that. I'm going to predict they keep saying it's going to happen. They're going to keep being wrong. And just like we saw with scams right here, once they're wrong, they'll make up some excuse on why what they said before was actually different, how we're just all misunderstanding it. But we have the receipts. We'll know they were just talking nonsense. That's why I ignore them. I listen to the experts in the XRP community because they have been spot on since the beginning. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.